So he's done a great job helping us get our gas log set installed, but I'm sure there's still some questions out there in the audience. So what we're going to do right now is cover some common questions that you may have and hopefully get your questions answered. So how long do you think it's going to take the average installer or DIYer to do their gas log set? Obviously you did it really quickly, but it's your forte.
This is a pretty simple kit. This is what we call a matchlet system. So literally just connect it to the gas line and light it via long match the same way I did. But honestly, if you're going to add a piloted system, that can take longer. So what I've done here would probably take the average homeowner no more than 30 minutes to install. If you add any kind of the pilots or the remote controls, give about 45 minutes to an hour.
Not a bad time frame to make your fireplace this much of an improvement. Next, are there any safety concerns that people should consider when installing their own gas log set?
Definitely. We installed that damper clamp up inside the fireplace. That's really majorly there so that if you do forget to open the damper, that it's not going to harm you right away. But realistically, you should always make sure your damper is completely open before lighting any vented log system. And then when you are going to use the key and the long lighter, make sure that you're lit inside the fireplace before turning on the gas.
Okay. Now that's because if you were to turn on your gas first, you may have a buildup of the fumes in the fireplace and then be left with more of a poof.
You could be left with no eyebrows, yeah, right.
Something that you definitely don't want to experience when lighting your fireplace. Now, are there any other kinds of tips that you can give them as far as installation goes that you've learned along the time, just to make things a little bit easier, things to look out for or avoid?
Sure, take your time. Don't be too proud to read a manual, guys. And just follow the directions exactly the way they are. These companies spend a lot of time developing them, and they know the proper process to put them in.
Sounds legitimate.
Never be afraid to ask for help either.
Now I noticed that the logs didn't really have any rhyme or reason to how you placed them on the set. Now is that something that matters, or you can just do it to your liking, or is log placement something that's going to affect maybe soot buildup or something that should be considered as well?
Yes, certain kits, and again, reading your manual is definitely important. With this particular system here, I place them in the manner that I see them looking the best myself. However, it depends on your system. This is a vented log set. Those can usually be rearranged. Vent-free systems have a set way for the logs to go in. It's very much a puzzle piece. And if you get it wrong, you could be asking for trouble. So definitely refer to your manual, and if not, certainly ask a professional on whether or not you can move those around.
Is there any way to tell if they're placed wrong other than soot buildup, like a flame decrease or anything like that?
With vented logs, you might see a little bit more soot buildup if you've got them in an area that they don't recommend. You'll still see some soot even with their recommendations. But usually they give you the scenario that's going to be a best case for cleanliness. With vent-free, it could be odors, it could be other problems too. So referring to your manual and the pictures, make sure every log is in place is very important.
All right. Now the next thing is we had a couple different materials here while we were setting up, like the rock wool and the silica sand. Can you give a little more explanation about what each one of those components is actually for?
Absolutely. You saw that flat pan burner that I had inside there and the sand filled that up. That's basically giving us that 3D effect. If we didn't have that, we'd probably just have a wall of flames behind this log. But since that sand brings some of that gas forward, we have a nice ember bed in the front. The rock wool, and that's really what this green material you see on the outside, that actually glows like embers. It's basically a fiberglass type form in its raw rock formation, and it glows due to the heat itself. It'll last a long time, but eventually it will need replaced.
Okay. Now that's another good question. How long usually do the logs last? I know they're not something that you're going to be taking out and moving, so the risk of breaking is low, but do they wear out or need replaced after time usually?
They shouldn't. Most good log manufacturers will certainly have a lifetime warranty on their log systems, and this company is no exception. You definitely want to refer to your manual for that and make sure you buy a log set that has a lifetime warranty on it.
All right, so look for the lifetime warranty. Below we'll have some of our log sets that have those lifetime warranties that you should keep your eyes out for. All right, folks, well that looks like we've covered our installation as well as some of our commonly asked questions with installing a gas log set. But don't forget, if you've got questions about installing your gas log set or gas log sets in general, you can always give us a call at Northline Express at 866-667-8454. At Northline Express, home of the buy and try satisfaction guarantee, we're always happy to help.